Disclaimer: the suspect's video have been redacted in portions of this footage due to her being inside her workplace at the time. However, we've pieced together the full story using available details to ensure nothing crucial is left out. Viewer discretion is advised. On June 2, 2024, officers were dispatched to a disturbing case of aggravated assault. A woman allegedly went through her boyfriend's phone while he was asleep in bed and discovered messages suggesting he was cheating. Enraged, she grabbed his loaded Glock 22, pointed it at his face and shouted, "Get out of my house!" The boyfriend told police he feared for his life as she began striking him in the head and face with the gun, leaving visible bruises and abrasions. Here's what happened next.
So what's going on?
I cheated on her.
Yeah,
And this is my sister. I cheated on my girlfriend.
Okay.
She went to my phone. I woke up with her holding my gun in my face, shaking, saying, "Get the fuck out of my house."
Sorry.
Getting dressed, she has my phone, she won't give it back to me. And I went outside, I get in my truck, just asking for my phone, give me my phone. Just texting everyone on my phone, calling, texting her from my phone. My phone's sitting on my center console right there, and I smashed the fucking piece of it broken in half.
Some problem.
That was when I got my phone back and I went to call you guys. She ripped it out of my hands and then broke it. So I couldn't call anybody. And she put her son in my back seat so I couldn't drive away. And I had my door open and she was beating the shit out of me. In my driver's seat, standing in the doorway and would not let me leave. Hopefully, neighbors probably have Ring doorbells. I don't know if they do. But that pretty much sums everything up.
What woke you up? Like her saying something? Or
Get out of my house.
Get out of my house.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she had my phone in her hand. And I was like, I knew what she found.
Okay.
Because the mother of my child spent the weekend with me.
Okay.
She saw the messages between us.
So she has a gun in your face.
Yes.
And she's saying, "Get out of my house."
Yeah, get the fuck out. Get up, get the fuck out of my house.
Okay, and then what?
And I'm like collecting myself, getting dressed, and she places the gun on the, like there's a little table next to the bed, and she still has my phone in her hand, she's shaking real bad, and I'm just following her outside, and then it wasn't until we were in the road, like she was talking, but I kept asking for my phone back. And I was like, I'll leave, we'll talk about it later. I want my phone back. Can I please have my phone? She wouldn't give me my phone back for like 30 minutes.
Were you saying to her, like, I want to call the cops or anything like that? Or were you just saying, I want my phone back?
Well, there was no reason. Well, I mean, there's a reason to call the police at that point, but I wasn't going to.
Okay.
I didn't mention it or anything, but when she did hand me my phone back, I did tell her, I said, now I'm calling fucking cops, so you're going to jail. And then that's when she put her hands on me. She took my phone, slammed it on the ground.
Did you start to call 911?
I pulled it up because I didn't unlock my phone. I just hit the emergency call button and then snatched out my hand. But I did.
Were you going to until she did that?
Of course, yeah. She's beating the shit out of me. So like,
well, I'm just making sure you weren't going to threaten to do it. But you're actually.
No, I was. The emergency call was up.
So you would have if she did it.
Of course, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, she was putting her hands on me. That's unacceptable.
Okay. So then she snatches your phone when you're trying to call 911.
She slams it on the ground 10 times.
How much is your phone worth?
It's a Samsung S21, so I mean it's worth $800, something like that.
Okay. All right, and then what happens?
She put her son came out. I don't know who brought him outside. Her parents.
So there were people there? Because I thought you said before nobody witnessed this. There was nobody there.
No one witnessed it. No one witnessed anything.
Okay.
Because I'm parked in the street.
Okay.
So like her house is to the right of me,
Okay.
and it's like kind of to the angle. So I'm parked under like a street light where I keep my truck, and someone let the kid out. The kid woke up during all that, but it's not like they woke up because they were screaming and yelling or anything. The kid just woke up, came out to the car. She put him in the back seat, knowing that I wouldn't drive away with him.
Right.
And that's what kept me there, like from leaving.
When she was hitting you, was it like closed fists?
It was all kinds of shit. It just kept tricking me. Like, she kept, like, I had a bunch of necklaces and crosses hanging from my rear view. She kept saying, this string is bothering me. And, like, she'd grab the string and then fucking hit me. Like, it was, like, over and over. Like, she
With
kept,
her kid in the backseat?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
he was back there when she was doing it.
All right. How many times do you think she hit you? Yeah? Like, if you had to guess.
10.
Okay.
It was over a period of, like, 3 or 4 minutes.
Do you need fire rescue or anything?
No, this happened so long ago.
Okay. All right, and then,
Everett's like a bitch.
yeah, if you don't mind, I'd like to get some photos
No, it's okay.
and stuff like that. What's her first name?
Haley.
Can you spell it for me?
Haley.
Middle initial?
B.
And her last name?
Del Valle, so DelValle.
You have a Haley DeVal?
She works in the kitchen. I could ask Tina.
Yeah, if there's a way we can try.
Hi, folks.
Hello. Hi, Haley?
Hello.
Yes.
Can you come on in, please? You want to have a seat?
Just wait real quick.
All right. All right.
You want to check me? Keep everything out.
No, you're good. You can just have a seat.
I'm just.
I just want to confirm real quick. Okay, so with that being said, do you want to talk to me about what happened today?
With Chris?
Yeah. It's a
So-
yes. You gotta tell me first. Do you want to talk to me about it?
Yes, I do, because I thought about calling because of what happened last night. It started last night.
Mm-hmm.
And I was scared to call last night because my kids were in the house with him.
Okay.
And he had his gun on him.
Mm-hmm.
I was terrified. So last night he came to my house shit-faced drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And he had his gun on him. He was swinging around in the air outside my house. And he put it up to his head. We had people over because it was my sister's graduation dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And I agreed to him coming over, but I didn't know how drunk he was.
Mm-hmm.
He was making threats to me that he was going to kill me. And I obviously just played it off because it wasn't the first time. And then he stayed the night last night. And then this morning, I found out he cheated on me.
How'd you find out?
I went through his phone.
Okay.
Because his girlfriend called, or his ex-girlfriend called, and I asked him, and he told the truth. He asked for his gun, and I said, I don't want to touch your gun, because that's not the first time. And he was like, well, you're lucky I don't put it out on you right now. And he threatened to hit
When
me
did you do that? When did that happen?
this morning, before I came here for work.
Mm-hmm.
He threatened to lay his hands on me. And last night, he put his hands on my throat.
Mm-hmm.
And was like, if you ever leave me, I'm going to shoot you. I have my gun right here and everything like that. Like, I had one drink last night from my sister's graduation dinner, so, and I know how aggressive he is as a person, so it's not my first rodeo with him. And then this morning, he was making the threats, and I was like, like, my family's home, like, if something happens, I can go run inside and get them. Like, I have work, and it happened right before I had to get here at 10:30. And then he mushed me in my face. He was pinching me and everything like that. I wasn't even like coming after him or anything.
Where'd that happen at?
My house this morning.
But where at in your house?
Outside, like on the streets. Outside just literally in the, not my driveway, but the street.
Okay. Let's rewind real quick. Okay. So you're saying yesterday when this thing started, this thing, we'll call it a thing. Okay. When this began, and then after that happened.
I'm sorry. He also slapped me a few times too in my face last night really hard.
Okay. So this happened, and then how did that end before we have what happened this morning? Like, did you guys stay up all night long fighting and arguing, or did you go to bed at some point?
Last night. We did go to bed last night. We weren't arguing last night. He was acting like that, and we were fine. We were talking and everything. This morning we were arguing when I found out he was cheating. And he called me a narcissist, calling me like crazy for finding out that he was cheating because it's been going on for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And our whole relationship, he's threatened to kill me. He's brought his gun out, like waving it in my face, like.
Have you ever called?
No.
No.
I'm scared too with him.
So, did you guys sleep in the same bed last night?
Yes.
But you were scared because he threatened to kill you, right?
Yes. But
But you went to bed right next to him?
yes.
In the same room?
Because
With his gun?
I calmed him down and I asked him to put his gun away, and we weren't like fighting though. So with him being drunk, I was, thinking that he was messing around, because that's not the first time he's threatened to kill me, because he kind of like, he laughs about it.
Why was he so mad last night?
He wasn't mad last night.
Well, why is he aggressive or?
This morning he was aggressive because of how I caught him cheating,
Okay.
and that was that. And all he did.
How did you guys wake up this morning? Like, how did that happen?
We were fine. His ex-girlfriend called, and I said, "Hey."
And you were
like,
both awake?
No, we were sleeping. That's what woke me up, was the phone
Okay.
call. I questioned him. He said, "I don't know." So then I went through his phone, because I have my fingerprint in his phone.
While he's awake? He's
Yeah.
like sitting there watching you go through his phone?
Yep. And he goes, "I have nothing to hide from you. You have my fingerprint. You have your fingerprint. Like, I have nothing." He kept on saying that. And I said, "Okay." So I went through his messages, went through his Snapchat, saw all the things I saw, questioned him about it. He then started telling the truth. And then this morning, like, other than that, like, we kind of just parted our ways. And he was like, he didn't make any threats this morning, but he was making them last night.
Okay, so, a few things I want to talk about. All right, listen, Haley, we've been doing this for a little bit. Okay, like, it's not our first time talking to people. It's not our first time having these kind of conversations and stuff. All right, if you did something that you shouldn't have done because you were angry, if he did something that he should have done because you're angry, the only thing that I want to talk about, though, is the truth.
Yeah.
All right, and
I even
hold on.
I'm sorry.
Let me just give him a little spiel out, okay? And like I said, this isn't the first time we've done this, all right? So it's like there's already been a couple things in your story, which those could be explained if it was like a traumatic event, something crazy happened, all of that, all right? Which it sounds like there a lot's happened. But in this like 5 minutes of me talking to you, you said that this morning he threatened you with a gun, there was a big blowout, an argument when you accused him of cheating, and then you just now told me in your own words, you're like, oh, well, we didn't argue. There was no argument. And then last night you're saying, well, he was waving a gun around, he was threatening to kill me, threatening to, I couldn't leave and all this stuff. But then you're like, but we weren't arguing.
Yeah,
and he wasn't
we weren't
aggressive, it
arguing
was a
last
joke.
night.
So me, just thinking rationally, if somebody was threatening to kill me with a gun or had a gun to their head, there would be some type of back and forth verbal situation.
I normally tell him I want to step away,
So,
or
can we-
I ask him to put it away.
Can we just like restart and like just start from the beginning and just tell me what happened? If you messed up, we can talk about it. All right, but I don't want you, don't fabricate things, don't make things up, because then it only looks worse for you. Because I'm
Yeah.
going to document this whole thing. So please only just tell me
And
the truth.
I just got off the phone with his ex-girlfriend that did call this morning, and she goes, "I thought you were in jail." I said, "No, I'm at work."
But, so,
And that's what he was telling her, because he told her I hit him 20 times. I didn't hit him at all. He said I was punching him 20 times. I said, I never even punched him.
he had his marks all over him. He does, on that side. And it goes with him sitting in his vehicle. He's got red marks, and he's got swelling on that side of his face, and he has scratches on his neck.
I didn't scratch him
Okay.
at all.
Well, in hitting and things like that, those kind of things can happen. We've seen that.
Well, I didn't. I swear to God, I didn't.
So what happened with
fist
his phone?
him. His phone I smashed. I didn't throw it at him though. Like, I physically didn't like.
He didn't say you threw it at him.
No, I smashed his phone. That was my anger. Because so last night it started off with, we were talking all day yesterday, perfectly fine. He had plans to stay the night. I had plans that I
So
was
he was at your house the whole day yesterday?
No, he came around 11:30 midnight last night,
Okay.
drunk, from his friend's house 5 minutes down the road from me.
Okay.
And I know how he is when he's drunk. He's reckless and everything like that. He makes jokes, and I just blow it off. But I am terrified of him because I know what he's capable of in his history. And
I don't judge anybody based on that kind of stuff. I'm just here now. You know what I mean?
But hearing like from
I'm
his,
not gonna make decisions based off of all that. So.
He slapped me a few times. So last night, yeah, he did slap me really hard last night. But we weren't fighting. Like,
Wouldn't.
I was.
Haley, that doesn't make any sense.
I know. I was in love with him. We were like.
All I want is the truth. We're kind of not doing that.
I'm telling you the truth. We weren't fighting at all last night.
So he just slapped you out of nowhere.
We weren't making out, and he slapped me. But we weren't even arguing. Like, no, not even cursing, nothing at all. Like, I swear to God, like, We were just making
So,
out.
and
he
where
was touching
in all
me.
of that was he in your front yard waving a gun around, threatening to kill himself?
That was before we came inside the house. And my
I don't, not to my knowledge, did we get any calls out there? I can look it up, but I would think if somebody saw somebody waving a gun around, threatening to kill themselves, like they would have called, you know?
yeah.
And like we could go out there and look at cameras and see if that's true or not.
There's a camera outside my house.
So it would have caught it then.
Yes.
So we could go and check that
my
camera out?
cousin last night, he left last night while me and Chris were outside talking.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't even arguing. My cousin got an Uber because he was drunk himself from dinner. And that was when he walked out the time Chris had the gun at his head. And Chris hurried up and put it down and was like, oh shit, like I had my gun in my head, like, and your cousin just saw me. And I don't think my cousin, I don't know, I honestly don't know if my cousin saw it, but he said they made eye contact. And I just shrugged it off. But there is a camera outside my house, and you would be able to see that, that he had his gun swinging around and at his head.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So this morning, can you run me through that one more time? Because I got two different stories. I got the story of you guys not arguing, everything was perfectly fine, but you just caught him cheating, and then I got the story of him threatening to kill you and those. So like, can we try to find the truth in that one? What story's right on that?
Well, he's threatened to kill me multiple times.
No, not this morning. What happened this morning?
This morning, we woke up from his ex calling, and I asked him, and he's like, I don't know. I said, okay. I was going to pick up the phone. Instead, I just went through his phone because he was like, I have nothing to hide. Go through my phone. I said, okay. So I did, found everything that I did, and I kicked him out of my house. Didn't lay a single hand on him.
Did you grab his gun at any point in time?
No.
So we swabbed the gun for touch DNA, so that your DNA should not be found anywhere on that gun. That's what you're saying?
I didn't touch his gun.
Okay.
I'm terrified because he keeps it loaded. He will unclip it all the time in front of me, and when he had it at his head last night, he said it was loaded. All he said was all he had to do was, I don't know how guns work, but I know when he brings it out, he's always pulling out the clip, dropping out the bullets and all that. And I'm like, really, dude? Like, I don't touch his gun. And anytime he asks me to touch it,
So your DNA is not going to be on it?
It shouldn't be because I did not touch
Well,
it.
no, it's either a yes or a no.
Well, no, because I didn't touch it. I didn't touch it.
So it's no then.
Last night he had it. I have a nightstand next to my bed. He put it underneath there last night, and that's where it was last night. And I slept next to the nightstand, and I had him near the wall behind me. This morning he asked me to touch his gun, to give it to him to leave the house. I said, nope, I'm not touching it, because just in case something was to go off, and I kind of covered.
So you just caught this man cheating, and he's asking you to grab his gun to give it to him?
Mm-hmm.
Haley, come on.
I didn't touch it though. I told him no. I said, I'm not going to touch your gun for fingerprint purposes. I said, please grab your stuff and leave. And we walked outside, we talked it out. We weren't even yelling. Like, we were arguing, but there was no yelling. Because
Was your kid there?
My kids were at home, but they were sleeping still. I live with my parents.
Okay, so your 2-year-old didn't come outside?
He did. He came out when my mom sent him out. My mom was like, he's looking for you, because he woke up crying looking for me. And he came out, I was holding him, and I had him in the car while I was talking to Chris and all that.
So did your mom see what was going on?
She saw that we were out there talking, but she didn't stay out there to hear what was going on. But I did tell my mom, because my mom took me to work this morning, and I told her what happened. I didn't tell her about the whole gun thing and everything, but I told her that I caught him cheating.
Okay.
I didn't tell her anything about him waving the gun out to his head, last night or anything.
Alright. So, like I said, I have to document all of this stuff in a very detailed report. So, this is like your last opportunity
I'm telling the
to be honest with me about everything.
I can,
So you're saying that you didn't lay a hand on him?
I slapped him, that was it. And he was grabbing me, like by my throat, but I wasn't even coming after him.
When
like
was that?
This morning. I literally just slapped him.
You said that he grabbed you by your throat last night.
Yes, he did. But he pushed me this morning too. He shoved me this morning, and then he threatened to punch me in my face.
Okay. Do you have any marks on you? The only thing I see is your neck really red because you're obviously nervous because you're probably not telling me the truth. But that's the only thing I noticed.
When he slapped me in my face, I probably had a mark last night because it was really hard. He slapped the shit out of me. I just got off the phone with his ex, and she goes, he just got off the phone with me. He said that you were punching him 20 times. He said that you pulled his gun out on him. I said, what? I said, I didn't touch his gun, and I wasn't even swinging on him 20 times.
So you had his phone. Did you give it back to him at any point in time, or you had it the whole time that this happened?
I gave it back to him in the bed because he went to go through it. And I was like, well, it's too late now. I found everything. And then he was like, well, what'd you find? And he handed me his phone, unlocked it again, and I was telling him what I went through, what I found. And then I kept it the whole night because I was going to call his sister on his phone. I was going to call his ex on his phone and be like, he's cheating on you too. With the last 2 days, he slept with me and his ex-baby mama the last 2 days.
So at any point in time, did you give him back? So you gave it back to him when he was in the bed. So did he have it from then on?
No, once I took it back from him, I snatched it out of his hand to show him what I was talking about. Because
In the room?
What did you see? Yeah.
Okay. Where did you smash the phone at? Where did that happen?
Outside this morning.
So did he have the phone at all when he was sitting in his car?
No. He asked for it back, and I did give it back to him, and then I took it back from him.
So he didn't have it while he was in his car?
At one point.
Did he make any statements to you, like, I'm going to call the cops?
No.
He never said
Because
anything?
I wasn't hostile with him, and I never touched his
Haley,
gun.
what?
Well, hostile, I wasn't making threats to him. I wasn't making threats to him at all. I smashed his phone out of anger.
Right.
But I wasn't, the way he told his ex that I was swinging on him, I did not come on him like that at all. At all.
So he never made the statement, I'm calling the cops?
No. I swear to God. I slapped him with my fingers. My fingers got him.
What was on the phone when you took it from him?
What was on the phone?
Yeah, what was on the screen? Was it dialed to 911?
No.
No? Okay.
No threat. No saying he's going to call the cops. Nothing. I never threatened to call the cops on him. Nothing.
All right. Do you have anything else? Is there anything else that you need to tell us?
I mean, I wonder, with hearing his lies, I wonder if he, put those marks on him himself. Because I swear to God, I did not touch the gun. And I will consent to a DNA test on it.
Okay. Well, we're going to do that, too.
Because he did.
You said you would consent to it, so.
He did ask me to hand it to him so he can leave the bedroom. And I said no.
And you didn't do it?
No.
Did you put your kid in his car at any time?
This morning, yes.
Okay, why'd you do that?
Well, we were just talking, and there was cars going back and forth, and he was interacting with my son.
Okay.
And I went through his car because I found stuff of my kids stuff in his car. So I was going through. Obviously, I knew this was going to be the end of us, and I asked him if he had anything of mine or my kids in his car, and he goes, "No." And I said, "What's that blue cup that my kid's been missing? A cup that color?" And he goes, "I found that underneath the seat. It is Jackson's." So I went in and grabbed that, and then I kept my son in there while Chris and I were talking in the car, and that was it.
So, legitimate question. If this guy has threatened you with a gun, threatened himself with a gun, you are in such fear of him, your own words, you put your 2-year-old in his vehicle with him while this is going on?
Yes, but he wasn't making threats this morning about the gun. The whole thing. He put the gun when he came out my house. I didn't see him holding the gun. I think he put it in his pants, obviously, and then he put it in his not glove compartment, but the center console, and that's where it was at.
Did you see how that's wild?
Yeah, it was just laying there.
Right.
And
Okay.
I don't recall him threatening to take it out on me, but he did threaten to hit me this morning.
Okay.
But I don't remember. I don't recall.
Alrighty, so this is how this is going to work, okay? You are going to be under arrest today, alright? You have been, I don't believe you've been truthful, but you've been somewhat calm and cooperative, alright? So we'd rather not walk you out of here in handcuffs in front of everybody, as long as you stay calm and cooperative. Okay, let me see. Okay, so, yeah. Here. There you go. So you said earlier that you'd consent to them doing a DNA swab to check to see if your DNA's on the gun. So we have crime scene coming out here to do that. So we'll be here for a minute.
Okay.
Just for that, all right? Just sit tight. You can put your leg in. If you sit sideways, sometimes it's better. But, well, there's a little cutout right here for your hands.
Where?
If you sit straight back, there's a dent there.